There's a famous story that happened about 20 years ago. There was a family who was trying to go home for Shabbat, and they missed the last bus. And there was a young man who was not religious. He was driving and he saw them stranded. He said, I can give you a ride home. No problem. So as he's taking them home, the family said to him, listen, if you drop us off and get back home, you're not gonna make it in time for Shabbat. And the guy, even though he's not religious, he agreed to stay at their house for Shabbat as a guest for the meals and everything. And when the Shabbat was over, he told the family, I had one of the greatest experiences and I saw really what a Shabbat is. And he told the host of the house, perhaps you could teach me something that I could take with myself so I can never forget this amazing experience. And he told them that I'm going to give you a halakha to do. And he's like, wait, don't give me something I'm going to be embarrassed in front of my friends. I don't want to be embarrassed in front of my friends. He's like, I'm going to give you something that it's not recognizable. He said, okay. So he said, the halakha that I'm going to tell you is like this. Whenever you put on your shoes, put on your right shoe first, and then put on your left shoe, tie your left shoe, and tie your right shoe. You agree to keep this? He said, no problem, I'm going to keep this no matter what. He didn't explain to him why, he just told him to do this halakha. And that's what he did. Now, this young man, not religious, and he was, even when he was doing this halakha, he would always, many times, mess up. He put the left first, and he had to take it off and put on the right first. And it got more tricky when he was in the army. At the same time, when he had to report to base, he has these army boots that have a lot of tying to do. And it takes a few minutes to tie each shoe. So many times he would tie up the whole left shoe and he'd realize that he didn't put on the right one yet. So he'd have to take it all off again, start again. And he did this, and the commander would ask him what's going on. He's like, no, I had he gave some excuse, and he was able to not miss his things without getting in trouble. One day, the commander told him, listen, don't be late. There is a helicopter training course, and we're all going to go on this helicopter. You have to be ready at this time. Be outside. He said, okay. That day, he messed up again, and he had to retie everything, and they left without him. And this was a training course with 2 helicopters, and unfortunately, when they left without him, these 2 helicopters were going, they crashed into each other by mistake, and we lost 73 Israeli soldiers. And this halakha that he kept saved his life. 20 years later, recently, there were 2 soldiers, and they were talking to each other, and he wanted the other soldiers to keep the same halakha. He's like, okay, teach me how to do it. So they were in the army. They both bend down to tie their shoes. He's showing them, look, tie this one, and then tie this one, and so on and so forth. While their heads were down, tying the shoes, the enemies were firing at them with a lot of bullets. And the fact that because they were down at that time, tying the shoes, they missed all of these bullets and they were saved. These are 2 stories about 20 years apart that just by keeping even the simplest halachot, you can be saved by Hashem, you get rewarded. And now we're going to discuss, why do you even do this halakha? What is this halakha about? Because to a person who has no knowledge of Torah, he thinks it's silly. What do I care? Put on the right, left, who cares? So with that, I'm going to start the first halacha in Yalkut Yosef that shows us the importance of giving precedence to the right over the left. Whenever you wash your body, you should first wash your head, because that's the most important limb in the body. And then your right side first, and then your left side. When you put on your clothes, put on your right sleeve, then your left sleeve. But when you remove, you do the opposite. Left and then right. Because when you're removing clothes, you want to give deference to the right. So you take the left one first and then the right one. We see now the halacha regarding shoes. We first wear a right shoe, we don't tie it, and then we wear the left shoe, we tie the left shoe, and then we tie the right shoe. Now, why do we do this? Because in the Torah, the right side is emphasized a lot, and it has an importance over the left side of whether it's your hands or in other things. We're going to explain what those are. Another reason is that we do it in order to subdue our inclination, which is on our left side. In Parashat Vaikra, chapter 14, verse 4 and 17, talks about purifying the metzorah. Person in those days who used to slander, he would get a type of leprosy, not exactly leprosy that we know today, but we get a skin issue that was very, very bad, and it would be put into, he would have to be secluded from other people in quarantine. And then there was a purification process. And part of that purification process involves the right thumb and the right toe. And therefore, that's one reason. Secondly, we see that why do we tie the left first? Because most people are right-handed, and that means that when they want to put on their tefillin, they have to put it on their left arm. They tie the left arm. So we put on the right shoe, and then we tie with the left, correspond to tefillin, which we tie on the left side, on the left arm. What does a left-handed person do? So a left-handed person who wears tefillin on his right arm should still put on his right shoe first, and then his left one, like everybody else. Now, regarding the tying of the shoes, Yalkut Yosef says that he should also tie his left shoe like everyone else. However, there is a situation where he would tie his right shoe first. If you are dominant in your left hand and in your left foot, like as a soccer player, it's rare also, but if you're dominant in both of those areas, then you would tie your right shoe first and then tie your left shoe, which is the opposite. Only in that thing would be opposite. In every other case, you always put on your right shoe first, no matter what. The Rav writes, that which is written in Mishnah Berurah, that the left-handed person has to tie his right shoe first, a regular left-handed person, not like left hand is strong and also left foot is strong. Just a regular left-handed person, according to Mishnah Berurah, has to tie the right shoe first. Yalkut Yosef says that's wrong. Is it because the reason is that he says that it was a typo in that the Mishnah Berurah bought a source from a book called Bechor Shor, and there was a typo that he copied it from there, not copied, but he learned it from there and put it into halacha. If you have a type of shoe that has laces, and the one shoe itself has left and right laces, you tie the left side of each shoe first, and then the right side of each shoe first. What about a woman? Woman doesn't wear tefillin. and she shouldn't wear tefillin at all. There are not, for many reasons, which I'm not going to get into this class. A woman does not wear tefillin under any circumstances. So what does she do? Does she have to follow this? It's not related to her. So one opinion says that she should tie the right shoe first. She should wear the right shoe and tie the right shoe, and then left. Another opinion says do like everybody else. The summary of this debate in halacha is that on one hand, women don't wear tefillin, so it is not related to them, and on the other hand, that they should follow this procedure because of the emphasis of giving importance to the right hand first. So a woman can be lenient and not follow this practice. And we have another halachic situation. If you already have your shoes on and you want to remove them, you already put everything on, now you want to take your shoes off, okay? But now, why am I taking off my shoes? Not just to take off my shoes to walk in the house. No, I have my weekday shoes and I have Shabbat shoes. I have shoes that are better, nicer, that I wear only on Shabbat. And I want to remove them now to polish them or to clean them for the sake of Shabbat. It could be the shoes that I'm wearing now, or there could be a pair sitting there. Those are the special shoes. So now, because I am removing the shoe for something else that's important, I have to act differently. What is that? In this case, you remove the right shoe first because you're using that right shoe for a mitzvah, for the honor of Shabbat. Or you are switching to Shabbat shoes. Even if you don't want to polish it, you just want to now go to the Shabbat shoe. However, when you remove your weekday shoes on Tisha B'Av, because we know that on Tisha B'Av we don't wear leather shoes, and it's almost going to be Tisha B'Av, I want to change to my non-leather shoes, I do not remove the right shoe first. Why? Because we are switching to shoes of affliction. For as we know, we don't wear leather shoes and we have to downgrade. We wear a lesser level of shoes. So whenever for Tisha B'Av or Erev Yom Kippur, the eve of Yom Kippur, we are changing to non-leather shoes because we're downgrading, we just do it the regular way. You take off the right and then you take off the left and then you take off the right. Thank you.